Welcome to Art Matters.
Yay!
We're back again. I'm starting the show this time. Tim freaked me out the last time starting the show. It just didn't feel right.
I panicked.
I'm very... You panic easily.
It's okay.
I'm very excited about this this month's podcast.
It's our 7th episode.
Wow, they're just ticking along here. Finally. Mm-hmm. We had a fits and starts getting started with a few episodes.
Not fits, growing pains.
All right, that's what it is. Well, they were moderately painful. But
that's what she said. Sorry. No time. Moving on.
Hey, now. So anyhow, I'm very excited about this podcast. We have, first of all, we have a couple of great guests here. But first, we need to make some announcements, right,
yes.
Jim? I'll let you take over, and I'll kind of chime in just a minute, and then we'll move on.
All right. Here are some upcoming productions in the Springfield area. Near and dear to my heart, on April the 20th is the season finales of both Star Trek Live on Stage and Buffy Live on Stage. Star Trek at 8 p.m., season finale of Season 2, The Wrath of Cron. And we gave a little bit of a teaser last night. Cron! And then at 10 o'clock, you can come see Buffy Graduation Day. $5 for one show, or get the double feature for $8.
That's a deal.
That is a very good deal. I'm going to throw it over to George because he's got some stuff he's working on.
Yeah, we have a very busy April, May. Mm-hmm. So I want to cover a couple of things. We have Springfield Contemporary Theater is going to be doing a show at the Canvas. As some of you probably know that they're looking for a home. They've got some things kind of lined out, but nothing final yet. In the meantime, they're going to be doing The Good Body there at the Canvas at 315 South Avenue on April 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Now, would you call this a revival? Because they're bringing it back. I mean, it was so well received last year.
They did it at MSU.
Yeah.
Why don't you let me get the dates out, and then if you want to discuss it.
I do what I want, George Cron. Okay, go ahead.
You're such a rebel. Anyhow, 5th, 6th, and 7th. That would be the 5th and 6th at 7:30, and the 7th is a 2 p.m. matinee. And the same the following week, the 12th and the 13th at 7:30 p.m., and the 14th is a 2 p.m. matinee. That, again, that's at the Campus at 315 South Avenue.
2 doors down from the Mud House. That's on the
right.
Same side of the street.
I'm also very excited. Coming in May, we have our parody of the movie Jaws. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the theater, we will be doing our parody. And David Frizzell showed me the designs for the shark. It's going to be amazing. This thing is going to be huge, I think. But,
well, let's talk about David again for just a second. Yeah. I mean, he is one heck of a sculptor and well-known artist.
I am so pleased when he contributes his creativity to our product, to our productions, because I saw the models he made for Star Trek, and those were amazing.
For those Trekkies out there, it's the original series era USS Reliant from the Wrath of Khan, using original series parts from broken Enterprise models. He sculpted and molded, and it blows my mind. He also did our Klingon disruptors, Romulan, Warbird. I'll stop talking about Star Trek, George. Go ahead, carry on.
That's all right. And then after again, Jaws is running May 9th, 10th, and 11th, and the 16th, 17th, and 18th, and those shows will be at 8 p.m. And then the following week after that, we have Class Acts by a Class Act, our talent show.
That's a pun.
And it's very funny.
It's
anyhow, I hope that people will come see that. We have some great talent in our company. We'll probably have some guests from outside too participating as well. If you saw our Christmas show, you know what great talent we have. So be sure to stay in touch for that. And then finally, the Mosaic Vocal Ensemble, in conjunction with a Class Act production, is producing a good parts version of Puccini's Edgar, the opera. So we're very excited about doing that. It's kind of a new twist on doing a kind of a mini stage version of an opera. So I'm kind of excited about doing something a little different.
It's going to be different. It's definitely it's one of the least known of his works.
And finally, before we get to our guests, I'd just like to everybody keep in mind, I will be doing a film acting workshop in June. More information will be coming out when we get closer there, but certainly if you're interested, you can go to, you can email a class act at georgecron.com for more information, or you can call 417-766-3139, and I'll be happy to talk about the acting workshop in June.
Or visit Class Act's Facebook page.
Very good, too. You can leave us a comment there, and we'll get back to you.
I always say, every time, that if you can't find something to do in Springfield on any given weekend, you're not looking hard enough.
And I always agree.
So our first guests today are Bryant Turnage and David Rice. Thank you for coming today, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
What we're here to talk about is they are doing a fundraising campaign to get themselves to the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh, Scotland in 2014. But before we talk about that, can you guys, and I'd like you to take just a minute or so to give your background, who you are, where you came from, and what brought you to Springfield, Missouri in 2013, trying to raise some money to go to Scotland. Mr. Rice, you can go first.
Oh, okay.
1.5 minutes.
Brian pointed to me.
Yeah.
I am in Springfield in 2013 doing theater. That I've done theater for 30 years.
What's your first show?
My very first show was when I was in 3rd grade. I played Augustus Gloop in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, it's a chocolate,
Yeah.
Charlie.
It was not a bad time. It was not a bad time.
What's the last show you've done?
The last show I did, acted on stage, was Anton Diavelli in 33 Variations at Springfield Contemporary.
What's the middle show you've done?
The middle show?
Oh, you've got one. Okay.
Okay, the middle
15
show
years.
would have been Charlie Brown in Your Good Man Charlie Brown in Ventura, California.
Man's got an answer for everything.
It's a
All
nice
right.
little sandwich.
That's
There you
a
go.
show sandwich. Okay. All right. All right. So, what's your favorite thing about theater? And maybe you talk about for a second about what you think of the arts community in Springfield.
The arts community in Springfield is fantastic. There is always something going on. People are never having to worry about what to do because there's always something that they can do. It starts with the big community theaters. Springfield Little Theater is an icon. Springfield Contemporary Theater has been around for 18 years. Class Act is doing stuff all the time. There is just Queen City Collective. It's everybody. The university theaters. There's always something going on, and it's a very positive energy kind of place. That's what I love about it.
Let's take about 20 seconds for you, and can you tell us your favorite role you've ever played or your favorite show you've ever been in?
I'm kind of like Bryant. The one that I'm doing now is my favorite ever. Because most recently I've been performing Big Daddy in Springfield Little Theater's production of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just fantastic opportunity. Probably the most fun I've ever had and the most fearful I've ever had was when I played Willie Loman, Death of a Salesman.
I was in that. I
Yes,
moved to
you
bed
were.
on and off stage.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, it was a pivotal scene, and I waiter number 2, pivotal scene stealing role. I won the show. That makes no sense. All right, Mr. Turnage,
Sir.
let's start at the beginning. Where did you come from?
Originally Albuquerque, then Vegas, now here. Wow, that is a switch.
That's a build right
That
there.
is. I guess.
I think it's going to stair step all the way up.
From here then.
Lampy is next, perhaps.
Yeah, Branson.
Yep, there you
Branson.
go.
You gotta hit Branson. I was so confused when they didn't have alcohol out there. Then I realized, wait, it's Branson
Yep.
for kids. It's Vegas for kids. I was confused, but yes.
So, you're a writer.
So I've been told.
How many plays have you written? I got him. I
You
stumped
do?
him.
Okay, hold on. Let me think. Hold on.
I
had
had
answers.
time.
No, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 9, 42.
1, 2, 3, 9.
Yes. I have written over 78.
Son of a gun.
78, yeah.
Pretty prolific.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of them are 10-minute shows, which are really good. I mean, just because they're 10-minute long doesn't mean they're crud.
No, yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm teaching Intro to Theater over at OTC, and I'll present them 10 minutes play, and I try to express the difficulty of trying to write a capsulized moment or a capsulized scene in 10 minutes is extremely challenging, I would think.
And an actual fully realized play as
Exactly.
opposed to a skit. I mean,
Right.
beginning, middle, end.
Exactly.
It's tough, but there's a lot of call for it. But I have about 20 some odd one-act and full-length plays I've actually done, produced a few. Yeah, I've been very lucky in that respect.
And you're an actor, also.
Yeah, I prefer being off stage, but I have been on. Yes, I have been.
He was
lucky enough.
great in The Seafarer.
Oh no!
You both were great in the
It was a good
Seafarer.
show.
And it was
I was
such a
waiting
good
for that,
director.
David.
Well, I just was lucky enough to be hit by George and knocked into a stove often. So I look forward to that every night.
So did I.
That and 2 liters of of
Ginger
ale that I had to chug in an hour and a half. Thank you.
Whenever
All
he
things
comes
to
over
look
for
forward
dinner,
to.
I offer him a ginger ale, and he slaps me.
Nice.
That's a reaction. All right, first show you were ever in.
The first show I was ever in, I was 12. I don't remember the name of it because they threw me in. I had to play somebody's dad. I was a sheriff. I had to, yep, here you are, Missy. That's all I said. And I walked off stage.
Last show you've been in.
Last show I was in was Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. I was Guildenstern.
Okay. Middle show.
Middle show I was in, it was Torch Song Trilogy,
Okay.
actually. Yes.
Very good.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I was, Torch Song Trilogy, that was when I was in high school.
You both got better memory than I have.
Favorite show.
My favorite show to be in or just in general?
Favorite show to be in.
I feel like we're on some kind of game show. here.
Favorite show to be in, I
Ding, ding,
love
ding,
being
that's
Iago.
Okay.
My favorite show.
Repeat that, I was talking.
Oh, I love being Iago.
Don't talk over the guest, George Cron.
In Othello. That was my favorite. I love being Iago. I like being the bad guy. Although I really love King Lear. I want to play the fool.
Nothing comes from nothing. Speak again. Real quick, let's
You
talk.
taught him well.
Obi-Wan.
It's all good.
It's the shock collar.
You said you wouldn't tell. Anyway, let's talk about Edinburgh, the Fringe Festival. Give us a little blurb about what that is, because some people may not know.
It is the largest fine arts festival in the world. It takes place basically throughout the entire month of August in Edinburgh, Scotland. People come from all over to do shows, art, anything. They just show up, they do it. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it.
And you are trying to get there in 2014. How?
Airplane, primarily.
You always have an answer, Mr.
We
Rice.
could do
Always.
boat, but that's going to take us a couple of months.
But you need help, is what we're talking about.
Very much so.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to talk about what they're going to do over there, how you can help, because they've got several fundraising opportunities coming up. And we'll probably chat about some other things too, because I am very easily distracted and I like to talk about lots and lots of things. You're listening to Art Matters, recorded live at the Creamery Arts Center in Springfield, Missouri. We'll be right back. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for our second segment with Bryant Turnage and David Rice. What we're going to talk about now is we're going to talk about, you're trying to get to this Fringe Festival, and you've got some fundraising opportunities that people can help you out with that. Let's start with that.
That is true. We are being executive produced by a wonderful organization called Actors Theater of Missouri, Springfield-based organization, 501c3 federally recognized corporation, which means we can gladly take cash donations, and those should be tax exempt
Okay.
for those who want to donate. We have a donation site set up through PayPal at www.actorstheaterofmo.org and follow the links for our donate, and it will.
And I'm sure we can probably, when George puts this up on YouTube, this will all show also.
Fantastic.
You can donate to me.
We also have our website, anything.
Did you get that, ladies and gentlemen? Okay.
www.anythingbehindme.com. That is the name of the play that we're doing, Anything Behind Me, in Edinburgh. And we've got the links there. We will be doing some more fundraising productions over the next few months, trying to raise a little travel capital to get to Edinburgh.
Let's talk about Anything Behind Me.
I just want to say that last month, Voices in my head.
The Voices in Our Heads,
Yeah,
yes.
that was a great production. Went very well. So.
It was, we loved it.
I did too.
Well, since we're on that, let's talk about it, because you had some directors. You had people helping you out directing those shows. Let's mention
did.
that.
Well, we had 6 different shows that I have written, and we had, let's see, Dave directed one. Meg Rice, Amy Newsome,
Maxine
Whitaker, Amanda
John
Wheeler,
Herbert.
and John Herbert. Those
Yes.
are all 6.
Mm-hmm.
6 very different shows. They were, hence the voices in our heads, and they were all beautifully done. I couldn't have been happier. I mean, really, it was just to see. We had 30 some odd people total. 29, everything. Yeah.
Well,
cast.
with the directors, yeah, we were well.
Just seeing them all come together, it was just a beautiful. Again, talking about theater in Springfield, seeing that dedication and that love of craft and all that come together for this. It was just beautiful. I was very touched, and the response was phenomenal, and I was just thrilled and blessed to have been able to do it.
And I want to take a step back for just a second, and just almost everybody you mentioned in that group are kind of shirt-tailed in the Class Act family too. I mean, all of us in this room are part of the Class Act family. Bryant, for the first several episodes, adapted the scripts for Buffy and was the narrator. I mean, we're all a very close-knit group of people here in Springfield. All right, let's talk about anything behind me. Where did that come from?
Well, there's a black wall and
Shut it, George Cron.
Couple of
pointy
sound
stuff,
point.
yeah.
No, it's soft. Like you could it's protection for like not hitting your head. Anyway, let's talk about the
Pushes you
show.
around.
Yeah,
That's-
it's okay. We're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about the show, how you wrote it, what it's about.
When I was getting my MFA at UNLV in Las Vegas, I needed to do a senior thesis. And what I was working on wasn't working, so I decided to go back to my roots, and I wrote a play about when I was a carny, when I was a age and weight guesser at traveling carnivals, and that's what the play is about. It's about a young man named Craig who is trying to find that one particular piece of magic that makes life worth it. And it's based on my experiences, my 7 years as a carny.
Have you found the piece of magic yet?
I have actually, and really, you look around, it's everybody else that provides you with that. You know, you figure that out.
I knew he'd say that.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it's all about you.
It is.
You
Well, what prompted you to decide to take this to Edinburgh?
Well,
Bryant did.
come on, let's go.
Bryant went to Edinburgh when you were in college, right?
Uh-huh.
And he has said nothing but fantastically glowing things about
Beautiful
the experience.
city, and the festival is. I've been in 2007. It's crazy.
Well, because it's all of August. There's
Yeah.
the Fringe Festival. There's a book festival. Recently, they started doing a music festival.
Mm-hmm.
The entire population of the city basically doubles, almost triples, and it's a small enough city you can walk across it in a couple hours, really. But the shows you will see, the people of the city, it's just
all over the city.
It is. It's phenomenal. We had when I was in 2000, we took this silly little show. We were in the attic of the Masons Lodge right off the Royal Mile. 11:30 at night. We had this it was the best show ever, but it was this horribly written little play. It was a musical, but we had people coming in. We had regulars. We had a guy that would show up every performance. And the last night we were there, he got up on stage. He would sing with us. Oh yeah, it's that kind of thing. That's what you see. It's phenomenal.
What intrigues me about Edinburgh is it's not run like an American Fringe Theater Festival, where the venues are chosen, you're assigned a space. Edinburgh, it's kind of no holds barred. You go there, you find your own venue, you arrange your own ticketing. It's quite exciting.
There is a wide range of entertainment at that festival. I was walking down the Royal Mile by St. Giles Cathedral, and this giant clown with bloody eyes on stilts. He was about 9 feet tall, and anybody that knows me knows that I am scared absolutely to death of clowns. He's trying to hand me a little flyer to come see his show, and he's literally chasing me down the sidewalk and going, meet, trying to get me to go. That you can see high-class theater, and then you see giant clowns on stilts with bloody eyes chasing the portly kid down the Royal Mile.
Well, now, don't give it all away.
Was that after a night of drinking? Or?
No! Oh!
We're going to have to change the villain in your piece now, because we got to keep the tall clown
Clowns
out of it.
How did you know?
Well, guys, let's recap. Anything behind me? Going to Edinburgh Fringe Festival in 2014. Lots of opportunities coming up to help support this project, ladies and gentlemen. Dave, hit that website again for us.
2 of them, www.actorstheaterofmo.org. Or you can connect to that same site through our show website, www.anythingbehindme.com.
Guys, make sure you help these guys out. It's going to be a great time, a great experience for all involved. When we come back, we're going to have Seth Truett of
Truett and the Traitors
coming up in the second half of the show. Guys, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you very much.
Again,
Good seeing you guys.
It's good to be
Good to
seen.
see you.
Again, you're listening to Art Matters. We'll be right back.
This is Art Matters, brought to you by A Class Act Productions with George Cron and Tim Pyland. A Class Act Productions produces the wildly popular parodies of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Star Trek, upstairs at the Canvas at 315 South Avenue, just 1 block south of the square and across the street from Ernie Biggs' Dueling Piano Bar. Every third Saturday of the month, you can see our Star Trek parody at 8 p.m. and Buffy the Vampire Slayer at 10 p.m. Tickets are $5 per show, or see the double feature for $8. For more information, go to A Class Act Productions Facebook page, and while you're there, please be sure to like us.
And we're back. And in the studio right now at the Creamery Art Center, we have joining us Seth Truett of Truett and the Traitors. Seth, thanks for coming in today.
Hi, thank you.
Good to see you.
So you are part of an acoustic band?
No, it's a full rock band.
Okay, 60s
but
style.
lately I've been doing more acoustic shows.
Okay.
Yes.
You focus primarily on the style of the 1960s.
I don't focus on it. It's just that's a majority of my influence, so it comes through.
All right. So who are your favorite artists that influenced what you do?
Well, of course, the Beatles, and I've been told it sounds very Tom Petty-ish at times.
Okay.
I've got a song that people seem to like that features a mouth harp. So, you know, even Dylan-esque at times. But I'm not afraid of pop music, so, you know, I go for good melodies.
I always like Crosby, Stills, and Nash. You said harmonies.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yes. Very good reference.
All right. We were talking earlier, and you mentioned that you had opened for the Imagine concert the last 2 years?
Well, 3 years ago and 2 years ago, not this last show.
Let's talk about that a little bit. That seems like a big deal.
Yeah, it is. I grew up as a little kid going to these shows. My parents would take me, and they're fundraisers. And I think every year, if not every year, most years, Yoko Ono matches whatever's made. That gets lately it's been going to the women's shelter.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it always went there. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great chance for local bands to play in front of a huge audience, because we don't get that chance very often. But the Gloys is always packed, and there's usually about 10 performers, some solo, some full bands.
I didn't make it last year. I think it was the year before that I went and had a great time. I just loved it. It was just, obviously it's great music, and every performer had a nice their own little twist or their own little style and flavor added to the song, which always makes it a lot of fun to listen to these different arrangements.
That's fun. The angle that we took, though, because we opened the show both years, is we didn't do that. We just played the songs the way they were written as best as we could.
Cool.
And what happened was that, it kicks off the show, everybody's anxious, and it kind of... It makes everybody feel young again, like they were watching the Beatles for the first time, and that's a good way to start the show.
Neat.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm way out of my league on this, but I was just curious, in trying to capture the style of the Beatles, was there certain settings with amps and mics and
there is. Luckily, our instruments kind of catered to that already, which you might say is why we're 60s inspired.
Right.
But we like good classic guitar tones and bass tones. One thing about the songs that we did, those early Beatles songs, you may not catch it, but like on the Hard Day's Night album, there is a bongo in the background of every single song, and it's kind of a filler, and it adds to the energy, and if you're just listening to it on the radio, you might not catch it, but you can really hear it a lot better on these remasters that came out a couple of years ago.
Like And I Love Her?
All those Hard Day's Night, there's a hand bongo going through the whole thing.
Wow.
So we did have Mark Pearl join us the last time we played to actually play that bongo part, just to try to represent it, but that was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, this is one question, but we'll actually break it into two. Do you have an absolute favorite song not performed by you? A favorite song in the world that you just love to hear? It's your go-to song when you need to hear something to pump you up.
To pump me up would be a song called Rock and Roll Star by Oasis. It was their first one on their debut album. But other than that, I mean, there's a lot of songs I couldn't live without.
Okay, fair enough. What about a favorite song that you perform that means just something so much to you?
I really enjoy playing the song Rest. It's got a harmonica on it, and the audience loves it. And the thing is the lyrics don't mean anything in particular. It was the one song I wrote that I just simply took any phrase that I thought sounded good and threw it together in hopes that it would seem like it meant something to other people. And I think it does, actually. And that's what's so fun about it. But one of my favorite bands is T-Rex. And I literally took a few phrases from T-Rex songs and used them as lines. I referenced some of my father's songs. He was in bands for years, yeah. So that makes it fun for me, because literally I had nothing in mind when I wrote the lyrics to it. But it's kind of Dylan-esque, and sometimes I think he did the same thing. So,
maybe. Yeah. I know. Well, that would make sense, because Dylan goes back far enough that he would have been influenced by the Beat generation, like Kerouac and William S. Burroughs. And William S. Burroughs was known to do narrative poetry and stream of consciousness things. He would actually take news clippings and clip up a sentence here and clip out a sentence here and mix them all around and jumble them up to make
Yeah, right, exactly.
So, yeah.
I've heard that Bowie did that too.
Is that right?
I come from the music side of the music world, not the lyric side. So when I'm writing, if it's the melody that inspires me first, typically, and I don't want to mess it up with the weird lyrics. So some people think of that as not, being artistic enough with it. I don't. I think you can really mess up a song with bad lyrics. I'd rather go with standard lyrics and maybe arrange them in a new way that you're not used to. But I don't want to mess up a song, and I always start with the melody first. So it's gotta speak to me melodically, and then I'll go from there. But what happens is you throw in some words that work well with the melody, that sing well, and it winds up becoming about something that you didn't even realize.
Oh yeah.
After you've sung it 10 times, then you realize what it's about. And I've heard a lot of people say that.
Well, let me ask you this: Are you a local boy?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been here most of my life. I was born in San Francisco, but I've been here most of my life. Went to Parkview, and my wife and I lived in Austin for about 2.5 years, and then moved back, and I've been here ever since. Well,
is there anything you'd like to say about the art scene, the music scene here in Springfield? We have a pretty thriving arts community here.
We do. We always complain about not enough people coming out, and I wish we could change that. But I'll give you guys credit, because most of the cool people that I've met that have stuck around have stayed here because of theater, and I think you guys have a lot to do with that. Oh. So thank you.
But we try.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, Seth, we're going to go into a break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about a little more about your inspiration and some upcoming things happening with you.
All right.
All right. Well, you are listening to Art Matters, recorded at the Creamery Arts Center. We'll be right back.
What's gonna ever suit you? You said
for the second half of our interview with Seth Truett of Truett and the Traitors. Well, in the first segment, Seth, we talked about personal inspirations, professional inspirations, and what you think about the arts community here in Springfield, which was positive. I'm glad I surprised you with that question. I'm glad you didn't say something negative that we have to edit out later. I have a question, and it's kind of a personal question. For you personally, has there been, I like to call it an aha moment, a moment of clarity while you're performing where everything just clicked into place and you knew that you were doing what you were meant to do?
Yes.
Well, that's good.
It happens occasionally. It would happen more often if I was maybe touring or something and could play more, And I think what you're talking about, how it applies to me, is more like when it clicks with the audience.
Okay.
When you're performing for the audience and they feel it too. That's the moment. That's the moment that you strive for. Any performer does. Yeah, it's happened. It feels really good. I've heard, once you get on the road and you're playing show after show after show, it can happen more often. I play out of town. I don't really tour extensively, but, everybody wishes for that, obviously. If you can make it happen.
Mm-hmm. We'll try to help.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of a thriving arts community, we want to address the fact that you may hear some noise during the interview. There, we are recording from the film editing bay here at the Creamery Arts Center. George, you want to talk about the group that lets us use the studio for just a second?
Oh, yeah, we really appreciate it. The Missouri Film Alliance has an editing bay here at the Creamery. They're associated with the Springfield Regional Arts Council, as a Class Act production is too. And they're very nice to let us, the Creamery and the Missouri Film Alliance is nice enough to let us use this room because the acoustics are a little bit better.
Oh, it's lovely.
We do have, as of last month, we have some people setting up some art out in the hallway. You might hear some rumblings every once in a while, but that's because it is a thriving artistic community here in Springfield. So we're glad that everybody's here and that we have this opportunity.
There's something for everyone. Now, Seth, what do you have coming up? April, May, June?
Well, mid-April, and I forget the date exactly, but please go to my website and find it. That is truettmusic.com.
That's Truett music, all one word, .com.
I've got an acoustic show on a Wednesday, this event that TAG puts on for local businesses and whatnot. I'm playing that, but I'll be playing quite a bit more. I hope to play the library downtown. And now that I've been doing more acoustic shows, it kind of opens up the ability to play a lot more places, which is why
more intimate venues than you if you were a full band.
I found that playing acoustic shows is more intimate, and the audience feels more of a connection because they're actively listening, whereas when you're playing with a full band at a loud volume, they're farther away and they're talking with their friends and stuff, and they're listening, but the acoustic thing really
pulls them in.
Yeah, it feels like they've experienced something more personal, so I enjoy that.
That's pretty interesting. So do you have, you said hopefully, obviously, you'd like to be able to tour nationally, regionally, that kind of thing? Well,
yeah, it's a matter of obviously finances and having the ability and the time and whatnot. And to be honest, in this new age of technology, and I've talked to other people about this that seem to have the same opinion, in the past it used to be tour, get on the road, build your fan base. I almost think it's more effective these days just to simply put more stuff on the web, put more videos on YouTube.
Instantly accessible all over the planet.
The argument is, people say to me, well, they're not going to go to your website if they haven't seen you live. And I say, no, it's backwards. It's the opposite. They're not going to come watch you live unless they've already at least seen your name online, which, they can just click on your name then and go find your music at that point.
You said also that you have songs at ReverbNation.com?
Yeah. Most of my songs are on ReverbNation.com/Traitors. And also a new website, local website, and I don't know if you guys have ever talked about it, but it's called ArtistSignal.com.
No.
And it was started by some local people. it has been very effective in promoting local people, and it's actually for artists worldwide now. And I'll give them a little plug, but they have a competition, and it's a voting thing, but it's they try to promote you to find other artists in the process of voting for your favorite artists.
Mm-hmm.
And it works out really well, and I've discovered other people, and they've discovered me, and it kind of builds this community. But at the end of the month, whoever has the most votes gets $10,000 to use for their musical endeavors.
Every month?
Every single month, yeah.
I'll be darned.
Well, dang.
Yeah.
Let's start a band,
So
George.
my friend Lyle Strickland.
I know that. I'm on Reverb Nation. I mean, so.
Yeah.
Not that I'm plugging my stuff. I'm more interested in you today.
But my friend Lyle Strickland won one of their first competitions, and it's helped him out. And they keep reworking it and trying new things. But I think it's going to be a big deal, and I'm proud that it's kind of based here.
That's excellent.
That's neat. Ladies and gentlemen, the band is Seth Truett of Truett and the Traitors, and we want you to check them out. There are a few ways to keep track of them. Make sure to follow them on Facebook, first of all, and then visit the website, truettmusic.com. Also, reverbnation.com/Traitors. That way you can give up performance dates, new music, that kind of thing. Seth, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
You have a CD that's
I do. My first album was The Wind Is Gone. That was a solo effort. And then my bandmates and I did the Truett and the Traitors 4-song EP.
Okay.
And that's just the title of it. And it's more reflective of what we sound like.
And as we leave you today, we're going to play a track from that EP. It's a song that you've picked called Rest. So this is Seth Truett of Truett and the Traitors. Thank you very, very much for listening today, guys.
Good seeing
Thank
you.
you.
Again, Seth.
Thank you. Appreciate
Talk to you
it.
later.
Rest your feet, your knees, you walk a little bit taller. Take your time, complete your thoughts. All the things you think you want. Don't put faith in things you bought. Crack the blinds outside, you'll find what some might say you've left behind. My dreams don't pay the bills, it seems. Our house is filled with broken things.
Art Matters is brought to you by A Class Act Productions.